You're listening to BBC introducing on Radio Sheffield, Celador Mooncrow there with Tightrope sounding absolutely huge. And that wasn't my choice, that was the choice of Mr. Carl Maloney, who's sat directly across from me right now.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, actually. I'm really looking forward to spending an evening with you tonight and just cracking on with some music. Celador Mooncrow, eh?
I know. How good are they? We were talking about this earlier, about the fact that they haven't really had to try that hard in order to get noticed. Sometimes when you're making music that's as good as they are, the recognition just kind of happens organically, doesn't it?
Well, you've kind of asked me to pick out the bands that I can see doing really well over 2017, haven't you? So I first pick are Celador Mooncrow. I've known the lads for ages, but I've become a bit of a fanboy and all. It's a bit weird that I proper love the band and know them personally as well. It's all a bit weird, but it's getting towards the stage now with Celador Mooncrow where I'm listening to them that much that I shouldn't like him anymore. But I still do. It's weird. Yeah.
There you go. They've already withstood the test of time in the short time that they've been together.
I've literally listened to them. Do you know when you go out on a night out and you get all drunk and you get home and you just get all a bit weird about music and you get a bit emotional about it a bit sometimes and you just lay in early hours at morning just listening to music that you just adore.
Yeah.
I'm still doing that with Celador Mooncrow, just listening to them and listening to them on way home, or if you're on way to a pub or whatever, just banging them on, and it's just I can't get bored of them. It's just that's standing the test of time for me if you can't get bored of a band.
Have you ever done the thing on a night out that I've done a couple of times where, you know, you've had one or two shandies and you go up to the DJ and you ask him to play stuff that's really obscure, like Celador Mooncrow. He's never going to have it. He's never going to have it, but you're like, pop some Hot Souls on or something.
Yeah,
pop some Celador Mooncrow
yeah,
on.
definitely. I always want to, but I don't ask DJs anything anymore. I'm not that kind of type of person anymore.
We are an ignorant breed, so yeah, that's true. Carl, listen, thanks very much for coming in and having a chat today. Well, obviously, you're here to talk to us about some of your top picks for who you think is going to do well in 2017. Yeah. It's not just local acts, you've got a few out-of-town ones in there.
Yeah, I didn't want to be too obvious. You can obviously pick all the big bands like, you know, October Drift, Kong and all the great bands, but I wanted to be a bit... give other people a chance and all, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I've thought long and hard about this list, and obviously the big bands that I've mentioned, you know, they're there, but I wanted to maybe introduce something new to the listeners as well. From just outside of Sheffield, there's a couple from Manchester and a band from Scotland that I just wanted to just give a shout out to as well, because it's a bigger pond than just our little fair city, Sheffield and the surrounding areas.
Yeah, I actually mentioned this on the show that last week. On this show as well, we've started to branch out a little bit and play some of the stuff that's from our out of town, because with the uploader through BBC Introducing now, it's easier to find stuff from bands that are starting to break, but there's still music on there. Yeah, I think it's important to shine a light on everywhere else as well, because it can be really difficult. I mean, God, this is my job, and to an extent yours as well. And it's difficult for people like us who are really good, got our finger on the pulse to actually find all the new stuff and separate the wheat from the chaff, let alone somebody who is just wanting to do this as a music fan. So
yeah, exactly.
It's tough. It's tough.
There's a massive pool, particularly in the north. I don't hear much. I don't get many contacts from the south for bands. I don't know what's going on down there, but we know up north we've got it going on, so who cares what they're going on down there, to be honest.
Amen to that.
Yes.
So, as well as obviously coming in to talk about some of your top picks for 2017, for anybody that doesn't know you, Carl, introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and let us know what it is that you do then.
My name's Carl Maloney and I'm running an online music magazine called Rate Good Music. It's a project that I started a long time ago, and I started this project called Carl Maloney Presents, basically putting gigs on. So I wouldn't be here without the Frog and Parrot, really. They gave me my first opportunity to start putting bands on. So I started doing that. It really picked up, and I've started to do the Washington, Mulberry Tavern and Yellow Arch now. So it's built up to this thing where I'm putting a lot of bands on each month. And yeah, it changed from Carl Maloney Presents. I got some feedback saying it's a bit self-centered, that name.
There's always that risk, isn't there?
It is. And so I thought, right, go think of a new name, rebrand, make it a bit more professional, make it a bit more, not about me and more about the music type thing, which I'm still fighting with, but we'll crack on it.
In a never-ending battle with your ego. Yeah, yes, exactly. I can relate. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I've started this online music magazine, rategoodmusic.com, and we specialise in in reviewing music, and we get submitted a lot of music to get reviewed. And what I say to everybody that reviews for me, I want them to be honest more than anything. There's far too much pandering around in the music industry at the minute. There's not enough honesty out there in the world. And I say to every reviewer that I do, just be honest. As long as you're constructive with your feedback, that's going to help the bands and support them. They might not like it when they hear it, but it's going to give them constructive feedback for them to work on and hopefully come back. For example, I had a band from Scotland called Barstow Bats that contacted me. And they didn't get a great review the first time at all, but they really appreciated the feedback. So they sent me the second single after, which is brave for a band to do, to review another review, and they actually got a good review. So, like, bands, be brave if you don't get a great review, just be brave enough to test it again and just put yourself out there a bit more and stretch yourselves a bit and be open to feedback, because it is what it is.
Definitely.
Isn't it,
I think there's this thing. I think it's going to happen all too often where you've got a band say that they'll go, "Oh, X Factor, it's crap, it's rubbish, it's awful." Now, for all they know, there is actually some really good talent on there. But they'll say to their mates band, "Oh yeah, you're really good. I love you. You're fantastic." Even if they're not good. There's that kind of blinkers onto. This is what I'm gonna like.
100%.
You've got to broaden your horizons and say, actually, that lad who's in the X Factor at the moment, he's actually really good and he's really talented, and my mate's band are pretty crap, to be honest.
Just my advice to any band listening in, just be as brave as possible and be open to and publish the good and the bad as well. It is publicity for you. There's a lot of bands who haven't had a great review just shy away from it and just pretend it never happened type thing. So I just say, promote it. I always put links to music on the links anyway. So I had a band who didn't like the review recently, and they actually got about 30 hits through iTunes because I always put the links on it as well. So people are still down. People didn't agree with it. They're still going to listen to it, and it's still getting their music out, whether that review is good or bad.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. Let's have another track just now. We'll have a bit more of a chat in a minute. We're having a chat at the moment with Carl Maloney of RGM. He's coming to give us some top picks from acts he thinks are going to do well in 2017. Next up, we've got No Hot Ashes. This is Cool Cat. Cool Cat by No Hot Ashes, one of Carl Maloney's top picks of 2017. Someone he thinks is going to do well. Why are they in your list?
I had them over they're from Manchester, Stockport area. I had them on at the Washington a few months ago. I've actually I do podcasts for the magazine as well, and another podcaster in Manchester called Mr. Peeps. I've got on really well with him. We share tracks with each other and just share great music. And he's the manager of this band, so he sent me the tune over, and it's just an absolutely amazing tune. Great band, quite funky, something a little bit different. They're quite political as well. They've got a voice, which is always great with your band, isn't it? They're there to speak their mind, and they're really good at writing songs. So I had them down at the Washington, and it was just an amazing gig. Loads of people. There's a lot of support particularly in Sheffield for that band as well. I mean, they are out of town, and the Washington were rammed just full of people enjoying that band. So I know they've got new music out in February, I think it is, and look out for them. Cool Cats. No Ashes, top band.
We'll keep an eye out for them. I wanted to know, Carl. Obviously, you've got you speak to many different bands, and music is a huge part of your life. Who's your favourite band? Not just locally, just like in general. Who's your favourite band?
Oh wow! I've grown up with Oasis.
Yeah,
I've got their hair. And they're going to come back this year or next year, so it's just obvious, isn't it? I've been to see them all over the world. I've seen them in Hollywood Bowl in LA. I can't say I've done that with any other type of band. Wow. So I'd have to be obvious and state Oasis was my band as a child growing up, and I've had some amazing times on the road watching the band and experiencing the music and just having some great times on the lash.
It's such I always find Oasis such an interesting point of contention when it comes to music fans. I went to see Oasis, and I was like, yes, they are absolutely fantastic. And I wouldn't say I grow out of it. I just, my music tastes started to broaden a little bit. And I moved away from Oasis, and at one point it was almost kind of like something that you you were a little bit like, oh, you didn't want to say that you were.
I would nearly like when I said that when you asked me. Then I thought in my head, Oasis, just say it. But then someone were trying to stop me saying it. And that happened then. Yeah,
it's nothing. No, that's the thing. I mean, some people kind of got a little bit ashamed of it, but it's nothing to be. Your music taste is never anything to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
I think.
Exactly.
Let's have another track just now, shall we? Another one of your picks. Next up, we've got Teeth. This is White Pudding. White Pudding by Teeth there, one of Carl's top tracks for White Pudding by Teeth there, a selection from Carl Maloney, one of the acts to look out for in 2017. I'm not even going to ask you why I put them in the list. They're absolutely incredible. I saw them live a couple of months back now, and they're just awesome.
Stumbled across them, just a random email that I got from a random band that I'd never heard of before. They sent me the music, sent me that track. Wow. I had him on down at the at Mulby Tavern just a week or two ago, last year, whenever that was, and they absolutely blew me away. An absolutely top band. They are at the very start of the musical career, I think. I don't know how long they've been going on, but I know they're a relatively new band.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pick out maybe a bit of a wild card for people listening in, a new name for people to get on board with. And Teeth, for me, they're one of the bands that could go massive. Another two-piece with a massive sound. There's something in the air with that kind of stuff.
There really is. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. We're looking up forward, obviously, to 2017, but going back to 2017, what was the best gig you went to?
Interesting. Best ever gig.
Of just last year. What was the best gig you went to last year?
Last year, it would have to be Connor Houston at Leadmill.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's an incredible talent, him.
Yeah, just like mine, just jaw-droppingly brilliant and charismatic and
I caught him
everything.
At, whatchamacallit, Crystals during
Tram
Lines.
Lines. Yeah,
that was the first time I'd had a chance to see
I was there, but I can't remember a thing.
Why does this not surprise me in the least?
Yes, absolutely battered, I think the word was.
But responsibly.
Yes, exactly. But I saw him at the Leadmill, his headline gig there, and just an absolutely amazing talent.
It's the whole package, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just like when I heard the music, I was like, I really like this.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I really hope it's as good
live
when I actually got to see it. And I was just so impressed with it.
Yeah. And the second one, if you were to ask October Drift at Leadmill, I ended up in falling over and banging my head and ended up in hospital after that gig.
So the aftermath was
it's all good.
But the gig itself was brilliant.
Yes. Well, I'm a silly boy sometimes.
Brilliant. Let's have another track just now. You're listening to BBC Introducing on Radio Sheffield, having a chat with Carl Maloney of RGM. He's brought us some tracks for ones to look out for in 2017. Next up, we've got Ethan and the Reformation. This is Hollandia. That's not the one I meant to play, but I'll play Backman Fever next. That's fine.
Okay.
Ethan and the Reformation. The track is called Hollandia, chosen by Carl Maloney, who's in for a chat with us just now. So they're from Manchester, yeah?
Yeah, from Manchester area. I stumbled. You just stumble across these bands. People get out to gigs. There's so much going on. It's just ridiculous. I went to Aaron Proctor's AMP festival thing at Rocking Chair.
Yeah, little two-day thing.
And he had these guys on quite early in the day, so we were just down there having a nosy. And this band come on, and they just blew me away. They were amazing. And I got chatting to him after. They sent me the tune over. I've played it on my podcast and stuff. But it's another one of those that you get sent all this music, you have a listen to it, and then you start searching back through, where's my go-to music again for going out.
Yeah.
And this is one of the tunes that I get ready to, and it just gets you ready to go out or go to work in the morning. It's not all about going out.
Both of them,
Bit of balance, yeah. So
speaking of going to work in the morning, this is obviously just this isn't your main job, is it? So you work at a bank through the day.
Yeah, I work, that pays the bills. That's what I do for a living. I really enjoy working for a bank, and but music's. I've been in a band for 10 years myself, and music's always been there in the background for me, and it always will be. And this is my escape from a normal 9-to-5 job, and I enjoy what I do immensely when I get home. All I do when I get home is get on Facebook and literally just work on the website and the podcasts and plan gigs, and it's not work for me. I'd be on my iPad just Googling cats and stuff. Anyway, so I might as well do something constructive.
It's good use.
Yeah, I might as well, or otters. I like otters and that. So I might as well just do something constructive and build this little brand of Rate Good Music, which I'm absolutely adoring. I love it.
You must find it hard to like juggle everything because obviously, as well as your job, gigs, podcast, reviews for the magazine, TV side of things. Is it hard to get everything like?
I am very good at time management.
That helps.
So I know when I need stuff to be done, and sometimes you get a day off in the week and you just do a lot in that day off in the week and you plan ahead. With the magazine and stuff, there's a lot of people that review for me. I don't write the reviews. I've got Josh Bell, that's one of my favourite lads in the world, Dave Crouch, Jordan Rafferty, Georgia, Matt, Ashley Birch from used to be in Harrison's is starting to write for me as well. Cool. So there's a long list of people that I just personally want to thank for giving up their time and writing the reviews for the magazine as well. So that all helps when you're delegating. Yeah.
Nice. Right. I'll tell you what, let's have another track just now, shall we? You're listening to BBC Introducing. We're having a chat with Carl Maloney. He's brought us in some tracks, ones to look out for in 2017. Could not agree with this next one more. This is Black Mamba Fever, Feeling the Strain. Feeling the Strain by Black Mamba Fever, as chosen by Carl Maloney, who's in for our chat with us just now. Some of his top acts to look out for in 2017. They're actually, Black Mamba Fever, I think they're coming in for a session with me next week.
Oh,
excellent.
Wait. Excellent. Yeah. Top lads, just fun to be around. I think I saw them about 4 times at Tramlines. I caught every gig that they did, and I saw them at Shakespeare at tail end of last year. Yeah. Just love and adore the lads. They're great at what they do, and they're going to get better.
Speaking of Tramlines as well, then in the broad scheme of things, there's obviously a very strong music scene, not just in Sheffield, but across South Yorkshire and everything. But in Sheffield particularly, what would you say are its main strong points that attribute towards such a productive music scene? Because when you compare Sheffield to other bigger cities, and you actually start to tally up I hate to do this, but for the sake of this argument, when you actually start to tally up the amount of bands and musicians from that area who have broken big, gone on to huge things, worldwide fame, all that kind of stuff, Sheffield should have a much smaller count realistically, by in terms of like population or whatever. It shouldn't be quite as many as it is, but it is, and it's still kind of got that momentum. So, what do you think are its main strong points that keep that momentum going?
Working class area, down to earth people, hard working people as well. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of lazy bands, a right lot of lazy bands, but the people that progress and move forward know what they want to do, and they're focused. And I suppose for a lot of people looking for work and that kind of stuff, there's not that much around. I don't know. I don't want to get too political or whatever. No, but if there's nothing going on around, people will, look at that guitar in the corner of the room, start playing it, and write about what they know, which is, where they are in their lives. So if I could bottle what it is and sell it, that'd be great. But I don't know what it is. I'm just speculating. But that's got to have something to do with it. I don't really know.
I'm sure if I ask enough people that question, their opinion on it, somebody will be able to. Maybe an amalgamation of all of them will come together to actually describe what it is.
I think Stephen Hawkins will struggle with that one.
You could write, an encyclopedia of books, exactly. And he still wouldn't be able to hit the nail on the head.
He wouldn't have a clue, that lad. He wouldn't have a clue.
Right, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We've got one more track left to play for you from your selection of acts to look out for, and I like the fact that the last one we've got to play is from Scotland. So.
Yes.
Yes. But before we get to that, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming in and having a chat.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And if people do want the music review, just email info@rategoodmusic.com, and we'll get your name out there because that's what we want to do.
Wicked. And if people say somebody wanted to do reviews for you, if they want to be involved with it, is it the same way as well? Yeah.
We will have capacity over the next month or so for another couple of reviewers to work for the magazine. It will be voluntary, but if you're a student and you're just learning and you want help with building up your portfolio, contact Carl at rategoodmusic.com via email, and we'll have a chat. And I'd love to work with you.
Brilliant. Well, all the best for 2017, sir. I hope it was as productive for you as last year has been and everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's always going to be better.
Yeah, keep us posted with your gigs, and we'll always give them a shout out on the show. And thanks very much for coming in for a chat, Carl.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
You're listening to BBC Introducing on Radio Sheffield, having a chat with Carl Maloney of Right Good Music. I'd never want to say it.
Say rate. Go on, just say it. Rate.
There we go. Good Music. There we go. I've got
it.
He's in for a chat with some acts to look out for in 2017. His final pick is Vida, and the track is Moloko Velocet.